Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect me, nigga, I'm coming. Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect me, nigga, I'm coming.
So, I don't know, you probably maybe have saw the press conference. Tupac finally came out of hiding.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a car in 50 miles.
You know what I just thought of, right?
Kenny and Darla,
You believe that story?
that they had to go looking for her head.
They only found the car.
They never found her head.
What's he doing?
The hell is that? He dumped something down that pipe.
Wrapped in a sheet.
Nah, don't block my way and don't hit my lawyer. Tupac, you think this is a bum ramp?
You're at a gun show in the US, so why not pick up an autograph from the killer of Trayvon Martin? Sitting quietly in a corner of the exhibition in Orlando, Florida, George Zimmerman signs photos and is ready for a chat, revealing a slice of life for the controversial figure who was acquitted of the murder and manslaughter of the black teenager last year. Apparently making this public appearance as a thank you to the owner of the gun show who supported him throughout the trial. Zimmerman was accused of racially profiling, following and shooting 17-year-old Trayvon in a gated neighborhood as he was returning from a convenience store. He claimed self-defense, and the trial shone a spotlight on Florida's Stand Your Ground law, which allows someone in fear of his or her life to use lethal force, which Zimmerman did. It prompted a series of protests about a law which many view as a license to commit murder, and even led to comment from US President Barack Obama. Since his acquittal, Zimmerman has had several brushes with the law. As well as being stopped twice for speeding, he was questioned by police in September after his estranged wife called authorities saying he'd threatened her with a gun.
Today we met up with George Zimmerman at this gun store, asking him what life has been like since he was acquitted of murder last year.
How come you stayed in Florida? Why didn't you just leave?
I didn't. I went all over the United States. I met great people from here to Texas and even up north.
Do you plan to stay here or do you plan to leave?
I plan to go wherever the wind takes me.
Why not just change your name, wear a hat, disguise yourself, and then live your life the way you want to live your life?
Sure, I do disguise myself. I do wear a hat and sunglasses, etc. But I'll never change my name. I've had so much taken away from me. I'll never let someone take my name away from me. Same reason I won't leave the United States. This is my country, and I won't leave. No one's going to make me leave.
Do you have any remorse?
In which aspect?
In what had happened on February 26th?
Sure, and again, I hate to deflect, but I have to because of the Department of Justice's investigation.
And what happened the night you and your girlfriend were calling 911 on each other?
Again, I can't answer that.
But you seem happy and you're back together again.
I mean, you mean with her? I try to be as happy as I can with everybody, yes.
Zimmerman wouldn't talk about his domestic dispute with his estranged wife, Shelley. He realizes his actions are being closely watched and says he still gets death threats.
What's it been like since the trial for you to try and live a normal life?
I think America can answer that. From what I understand, my speeding ticket was the first internationally publicized speeding ticket. So there's a tremendous amount of interest. There's a tremendous amount of everything I do is hyper scrutinized, and I realize that. So I try to stay out of it.
Zimmerman tells us he's getting treated for post-traumatic stress disorder as he goes from hotel to hotel.
It is a challenge, I can tell you that much.
And what is it that keeps you going?
My faith in God.
He tells us he wants to go back to school one day and get his degree. Zimmerman says he still walks around with a gun for his own safety. He's not sure when the Department of Justice investigation into the shooting of Trayvon Martin will be completed. In Orlando, Valerie White, Fox 35 News.
Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
Is this your idea of a little adventure?
I'm just gonna look.
Hello? You know the part in scary movies where somebody does something really stupid and everybody hates them for it? This is it.
Every 23rd spring, for 23 days, it gets to eat.
Eat.
What the hell is that thing? It's stuck in reverse!
He must have 5, maybe 600 bodies down there.
You've got something it likes, one of you.
You think he's dead?
They never are.
Jeepers Creepers. Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back.
They got my friends laughing, you alone.
Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back.
They got my friends laughing, you alone.
Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back.
They got my friends laughing, you alone. That I refuse to let you go, Lord. Cause Tupac said so. Tonight it was 5%. Jumping off the cliff, now it's making a lot of sense. So it seems, with all the visions and dreams, walking a king. And Lord, Tupac was a demon. Revelation, find salvation, read the first few paragraphs. I tried to tell some of my closest friends, but you were laughing, yeah. I even tried to tell my mama, she put me in a crazy home and left me to wonder why. It almost made me cry. And why was I watched for 10 days and die? If I die, that will be them. My last trip was been believe that I was destined to be that demon. I'm seeing it happen right before my eyes. And there's no such thing as Satan. Told a lie. Go ahead and abandon me. Leave me with Christianity. Can it be there was some truth in my insanity?
Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back.
They got my friends laughing, you alone.
Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back.
They got my friends laughing, you alone.
Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back.
They got my friends laughing, you alone. That I refuse to let go. It's Armageddon, cause Tupac said so.
Shot a speed runner. Neil. Dog life, bitch. Going out like that. Shot a speed runner. Shot a speed runner. Shot a speed runner. Judy. Shot a speed runner. Dog life, bitch. Going out like that.
Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
Well, you know, there's a lot of that, and even after we do this show, a lot of people are going to say, well, this has nothing to do with race, does it? I mean, maybe this just has to do with the part of town you're in, and that part of town just happens to be predominantly this race or that race or whatever. So how do we know this is really racial and just not circumstantial or geographically based?
Well, it keeps happening over and over and over. And when I do these national talk shows, I do hear people say that. So I always ask people, well, could you forward me the videotapes of the hundreds of Asian people rampaging down the street and doing this? Because in my book, I have hundreds and hundreds of links. I don't just say it. I link to it and show it, examples of this happening. And so it's happened so many times. My question back to people who would say that is, are you telling me when 1,000 people on dozens of occasions run down the streets of downtown Philadelphia, and on every one of those occasions, all the people are black, are you telling me race has nothing to do with it?
Well, now, let me ask you, I mean, obviously when you were looking into this, you had to have the same sort of trepidation that the rest of the media has. Because I got to be honest, I cover a lot of stuff, and we have listeners in all 50 states, and when I got ready for today's show, I even had that moment of, do I really want to talk about this? And I talk about everything. So, I mean, you had to have known that even looking into the subject matter is going to have some sort of overtone to it. How did you approach that when you addressed the issue and did your research?
I approached it by saying, listen, this is happening. Everybody's afraid to talk about it. Nobody's connecting the dots. So I'm not going to talk about causes. I'm not going to talk about solutions. I'm just going to write a book for the people who deny it is happening. So the book is going to be thoroughly documented. And the great Thomas Sowell read the book, and he said he had no idea how bad it was until the issue of racial violence, mob violence, until he read my book. And so really, it's just have to approach it saying it was happening so often, and I was not reading about it so often, but you know where you learn the truth on YouTube. So 10 years ago, people could have said, oh, Colin, that was not a black crowd, that was a mixed crowd, or it was a bunch of Italians or whatever. But today it's on YouTube. We have YouTubes of everywhere, including Milwaukee. We have YouTubes of Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Baltimore, you name it. I mean, Miami Beach, the whole country.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the invention of video cameras pretty much in everybody's pocket, there's a rise in man-on-the-street journalism, that's for sure. Now, I understand in the book you don't cover, the cause and everything, but doing the research, you had to have come up with some sort of conclusion. If we were going to look into a murder, one of the first things we try to figure out is motive. What do you think is behind this?
Well, here's my suspicion. And actually, I talked to a prison psychologist in the Midwest a couple weeks ago, and he's given me the best explanation for it. But my observation is this: America is the most race-conscious country in the world. If you pick up any paper in this country, and you can read hundreds of stories every year about the National Association of Colored People, the Black Teachers Union, the Black Police Officers, the Black Schools. Many of these stories are written by members of the National Association of Black Journalists. So we are extremely race-conscious.
Well, Mr. Flaherty, hold on right there. We're up against a break. I want to get to that on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back right after this.